Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 2 of Hawklands. Today I'm joined with...
Mr. Cohen.
Alright, let's get into it. I think
Sounds
the
good.
first swing we're going to go nothing on it.
Okay, I can do that.
So the first question I have for you is, you started off as a math teacher, correct?
I did.
What made you decide to want to go into the administrative side of education?
So my story goes a little bit before I was a math teacher. So I actually was an accountant out of college, and I was a math minor. And I started in the accounting industry, in the business world for one of the big six companies, and I didn't like it. So I went back to become a math teacher, but I had all the skills from being in business. So like my leadership skills just had naturally evolved. So there was a point in my career in my first school where I was teaching math, I was teaching computers, and my principal at the time said, "Hey, I need somebody to be an administrator. We're adding a position. I think you'd be right." So it just kind of naturally fell into place for me.
What were your parents like when you made that decision to go back and teach math?
So I've told the story. When I decided to become a teacher, my father was really excited when I was in the business world. I think he thought that I was going to become some big corporate executive and make millions and billions of dollars. So then I woke up one day and I said, "You know, Dad, I think I'm going to change my mind. I think I'm going to become a math teacher." And he cursed me out, told me that I was effing stupid, and that I didn't understand what life was all about. And we fought back and forth pretty hard, and I said, "I think I have a pretty good understanding of what I want to do, what's going to make me happy, and how to be successful."
I also heard from my baseball coaches and a lot of people that you played baseball when you were younger. I want to know what the game of baseball meant to you and was a lesson that you learned from baseball that you carry with you in life.
So baseball was really important to me.
I'm forgetting the whole point of this.
We get to eat more?
We get to eat more,
I
and we're going to
love
go
it.
to some hot sauce.
All right.
Hot Ones Classic.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go drumstick.
You know I like spicy.
I know.
All right. Whoop. Put a little bit extra on there. Here we go.
All right.
Let's
Cheers.
enjoy. Cheers.
That's really good.
That's sweet. You know I'm putting the challenge to you today, Bobbin.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know you're up
I was
against
looking
it.
forward to it all day. Made
I
it.
want to jump right to that pepper powder.
We can do it. We can do that with. This was the hot sauce that we used last time. It's made by yours truly.
Yes? From the peppers I grow in my garden.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that after?
We'll do that after. So anyway, baseball was huge for me. I grew up playing baseball. I grew up in Bayside, Queens. I played Little League ball. I talked about my father. Baseball was the thing between us. And I became a catcher at a very young age. So it was always really like studying the game, studying pitchers. And I grew up in Bayside, and there's a school called Cardozo High School. And there was a coach, a legendary coach. His name was Ed Tatarian. And he had coached in the city for like 30 years and won multiple championships and was like legendary. And the school didn't have a football program. They only had a baseball program. So like everyone in the neighborhood, it was the goal to always make that baseball team. And when eventually I tried out and I made the team, it was like the coolest thing. And I learned from him. He was like a real drill sergeant kind of coach. We had to cut our hair every year. Your hair couldn't be above your ears. And your uniform had to line up all the stripes, and you had to wear the exact socks that he gave you. If you ever showed up to practice or a game, you weren't in the right gear, he sent you home.
So, what happened when you wore jeans to baseball practice?
There were no jeans to baseball practice. So that
I heard that from Mr. Sim, that you wore jeans to baseball practice.
No, that was here.
Oh, that was here?
That was here in Jericho. I
Oh.
showed up one day when we were practicing. That's very funny. So, I learned a lot about the game. I was a catcher. but no one ever taught me how to do it. And I'm at practice one day making the high school team, and he starts screaming at me that if I don't start shifting on balls in the dirt, that he was tossing me off the team. And I literally went to one of the seniors on the team. I was like, what is he talking about? I don't even know what he's talking about. And he showed me, and then I took a pair of shin guards home, and like in my basement was practicing shifting and shifting and shifting, and really learned how to become a good defensive catcher. And eventually, when I became a teacher, I started at a school that had was in its second year. And when I interviewed for the job, I said to the principal, can I start a baseball program? And she said, absolutely. And I had the chance to start a baseball program and coach a team.
That's great.
And literally, like, our first group of players had never been on a baseball field before. And we developed a program, and it was like the coolest
Third
thing.
ring.
What's the next hot sauce?
We're gonna go. You went classic. I think it is this one. Calientes. Okay.
All right.
Why don't you tell us about the pepper sauce, the hot sauce that you made?
So it's funny. I wasn't necessarily ever much of a spicy guy, and a couple of years ago, I started to dabble in spice. Cheers. And then I bought a house 4 years ago here in Long Island, and it had planting beds. So I started planting stuff, and I started planting peppers. That's good.
That is really good.
I started to grow these hot peppers. And at first I was growing like jalapenos and like Thai chilies. And I started eating them a lot, and I started to get really used to the heat. So then last year I wanted to kick up the heat. So I grew ghost peppers, and I grew Carolina Reaper peppers, and they had a lot of good punch to them. And I learned how to dry them out. I bought a humidifier, and I would dry them, and then that's how I made this. I dried the peppers. So these are like 4 different type of peppers that I've dried, and then I crush them. I put them in like a coffee grinder, and I make a hot pepper blend.
And then you also put them in your coffee.
I put them in my coffee. I'll tell you that story. And then I also learned, my girlfriend's daughter taught me to make fermented hot sauce. So I'll take the peppers, and I'll take carrots and tomatillas and onions, and I'll stuff them in a jar, and then I'll make a saltwater brine. And I'll fill it with salt water, and then let it ferment for like 2 weeks. It gets all bubbly and everything. And then I make a sauce. So this has got some nice punch, and this has got some nice punch.
It does.
And then I got crazy with really enjoying the spice. So I got in the habit of bringing some of my dried peppers into work last year when I was principal. And I would take them, and I would just crush a little bit into my coffee cup in the morning, and I would drink hot coffee, and my secretaries would laugh at me. And then one day, I crushed some peppers in my coffee, and a couple hours later, I rubbed my eyes because they were itching, and all of a sudden my eyes started burning. So the big joke was that I like to put hot peppers in my eyes.
Peppers in my coffee. In my eyes.
Yeah.
All right, I heard you got a new car recently, actually. So why don't you tell me what went into that decision of buying that car and what car it is? Because I've heard from a lot of people that it's your prized possession now.
I enjoy it. I don't know if it's my prized possession. My prized possession is probably my golf simulator shed that I built in my backyard.
I was also going to talk about that too. We're going to get into that. Don't worry.
I'm a man of toys.
Why don't we do the chili powder on this one?
Cool. You be careful.
I know. How should I do this? Should I just?
I wouldn't stick my fingers in there.
I could just do it like this a little bit.
Okay. This is going to be a good reaction.
Last time it was pretty hot. That should be good.
So I drive a Lucid. You ever hear of a Lucid?
I know they're electrical cars, right?
It is an electric car. So I had a Tesla. I bought a Tesla a couple of years ago when they were still pretty new, before we started to see a ton of them on the road. And I really enjoyed it, and it was cool. At the time, I felt like maybe I was contributing to helping to save the planet. How we doing?
Ready to go? I'm gonna eat it right
Cheers. All right, this is going to light us up. Mm.
now. That one's hot. You can feel it. Kicking
That's
in the back
good.
of your throat.
So, I got a Tesla. I enjoy it. Have you been in a Tesla before?
Yeah, it feels like
They're like little rocket ships.
Yeah, it's just like floating.
And the instant torque. So I really enjoyed that, and I was happy with it. And then all of a sudden, people started looking at Teslas a little bit differently.
Mm.
About 4 months ago. Without getting into it too much, I said, I don't know. I don't want my car to necessarily represent politics. So I started thinking about what alternatives there were. And I knew about Lucids. So if you know anything about Lucid, the guy who makes Lucid, these are hot, right?
It's
It's
I
coming
feel it.
on
I
right
feel
now.
it. I feel it right now. My tongue is like
I feel it in the throat. It's good. I'm
just opening
sweating.
up my sinuses.
It's very nice.
It's great.
So the guy who makes Lucid started at Tesla, and then
Mm-hmm.
he decided to try to make an even better, faster, bigger battery,
Mm-hmm.
all the above. So I took the lead.
I heard you have an indoor pool, and that
I do. You guys
You-
heard all about me.
you wake up in the morning
Yes.
and you start with laps.
I do.
What's the
Sort of laps. I swim
Sort of
in
laps?
place. So I had a house in Flushing, Queens, and during the pandemic,
That's a lot.
this is going to be spicy.
This is the last dab.
All right.
This is pretty like. It kind of looks like barbecue sauce.
We're going to see what this does. Cheers.
I
Oh,
already
that's
feel
nice.
it. I already feel it.
That's good. It's got some heat. Julius didn't handle
I'm
it
getting-
as well as I did.
I'm getting better at this. I think the first time it was terrible.
I'm sweating. So I decided to sell my house and get one in Long Island. Ooh, you hear that, right? The spice is coming on. You guys are laughing. So I wanted a house with a pool. And I started looking around, and I couldn't really find one. And then I found this interesting house. The person who owned the house before me was disabled,
Okay.
and he needed aqua therapy.
Mm.
So they built a gazebo room onto the back of the house and put in a small, endless lap pool where you swim against the
Ooh,
jets.
Okay.
So the pool is like 7 feet wide by 9 feet long.
Okay.
And it's this sunroom, a gazebo room in the back of the house. So the room is heated, the pool is heated, and it's salt water. So I have an
Saltwater
indoor
pool.
pool. I can swim 12 months a year. It's negative 10 degrees outside, and I'm in my pool.
All right. Last question. Let's do. I think we have to do a little bit of this, a little bit of your sauce. That was really hot. So last year you made the jump from principal to assistant superintendent.
Yes.
In your career, where do you see yourself down the road? Do you see yourself making more climbs to superintendent, or do you see yourself happy where you're, happy with where you are right now?
So you're asking me great questions. Here's what I will
That's a
tell you.
lot. That is-
Really?
that is drenched. I guess I have to put a lot then.
You. So,
All right,
cheers.
let's do it.
Whew. I'm feeling the heat. Sweating. It's good. Here's what I'm going to say. I love Jericho.
I do too. Wings, man.
Mm.
Feel it.
And I love education. And I love leadership. And a lot of people, you all right?
I'm sweating through a little bit.
This is what I was hoping for. What we really need to do is take some of this powder and some of this hot sauce and combine it together.
Do you have any more wings?
I mean, you have enough space here. I can find a wing here. You did a good job on yours.
I'm hungry, man. I had to skip lunch to write the script.
So essentially, to answer the question,
We got 2 more.
I don't have any goals to leave Jericho. I love this place. I love the students so much that I think I'm going to be here for the rest of my career. I'm really happy in the role that I'm in. I've had this weird way of just having opportunities present itself to me throughout my career. When I was a teacher, I was really content doing that. And then all of a sudden I had an opportunity to become an assistant principal. And then I was an assistant principal, and I really enjoyed that. And then I got a phone call from someone who had been my first principal, and she said, come on, it's time for you to be a principal. And then I did that, and I really enjoyed that. And then I really enjoyed being a principal in Brooklyn. And then a situation presented itself, and I had an opportunity to go up to Westchester. And that was really great, and I learned a lot. And then I had this great opportunity to come and be a principal here in Jericho. And I absolutely love that. People.
That's all we got today.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. This was great. Thanks, everyone.